chat right now. We got
different. So there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of noise.
Why is everybody in slow motion?
Without further ado, let's bring on Chris. Further ado. But without further ado, let's bring on Lori. Howdy, folks. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing.
You're doing. We're back again. It's again this new little style here where we're doing a little SOG update. And for those of you who are, I guess, veterans of watching Growing Buds, you'll know that we're not doing it weekly anymore. I'm sorry about that. If you guys are missing us on your Fridays, we're going to be doing a bigger show at the end of the month with H, but Mike and I are in the middle of a very interesting experiment with some sea of green growing. So welcome back, everybody in the chat. We got 15 people here already. So maybe people are missing us, Mike. Maybe I got H back on the weekly thing, but that's a conversation for another day. How's your week going?
Or they think I'm pretty.
It could be you. It could be the clout from having Mike from 420 Things on the show every week. So that could work too. You guys let us know in the chat. Are you here for Mike or are you here for H? We'll see. It's okay. But yeah, how's your week going, man?
Man, it's going all right. We were talking backstage there. My son fucking slammed his. Anybody want to see this?
We don't want to see this.
You don't want to see it?
Not want to see this.
Well, you know what? You know what's
so
funny
nasty.
is last night we were on whatever. We were on as it happened. My wife comes in. I'm like, click, and I want to start talking to her. I came back and I'm like, oh, guys, sorry. My son, he just smashed his finger in the door, and I had to deal with it. And it was bleeding everywhere. And Buddy's like,
I need to put up a warning here before you show this.
Yeah. If you don't want to see bloody, whatever, look away, because Buddy disappears off the screen. I go, okay, I didn't notice, whatever. And then all of a sudden he comes back. He like sits up and he's like, oh man, he got a little woozy there from talking about, like, I didn't even show the picture. He was just talking about it. I go, he goes, well, you don't get woozy with blood. I go, no. So anyways, here it comes. Okay.
Go ahead. I got the warning.
My kid is 12 and he listened, like his nail is his nail is coming off. So
weed's great for a lot of things, but I don't think it's gonna help that one.
No,
especially at that age. That would
he's kind of 12. Like,
yeah.
Well, whenever he's got sore muscles from hockey and stuff like that, he uses my back rub, which is
like the CBD
and and THC. I mean, it doesn't get high, right? Like it doesn't topically go in, and it helps him with his pain. So he's been using that for quite some time. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, other than the injury, of course, doing what you love, playing hockey, right? So
yeah.
Our Leafs are just a little losing skid.
Yeah, it's because they suck.
Yeah.
We were just in Montreal for a tournament. I was met with Reggie there. He was Reggie the Mechanic Fool. He lives in Montreal, and he shot over, and we hung out for a bit and had a little toke and hung out. That's always nice to go to a new city and be like, you know what? I bet you I know somebody here, right? You know what I mean? And Reggie's like, yeah, I'm coming down. Like, we hung out, and he's coming to that event in Toronto next month. So tell the chat about that, because I know it's something I think Scrogger went to. I know you're pretty excited to go to it as well. So go ahead. Yeah. If you're a like a rosin aficionado, there's a I don't have the exact link and all this other garbage, but again, if you know about it, it's the Great Canadian Hash Rosin event, and there's 10 entries, and some of them are home growers, some of them are like licensed producers, and you can buy a judge's ticket. I think it's about $150 Canadian, and then they you go there the day of, and they give you it, and then they want like a smell, a taste, and there's all like this judging, and then there's like a winner of the day, and they get prizes, and they have like raffles, and there's food. It's like a whole day event, man. It's like, if you're a little hash head, why wouldn't you want to do it? So again, if you're in the Toronto area, February 15th.
Yeah, there you go. I'm personally a more big fan of flower. I don't know why. I've just never graduated to doing the dabs as much. I find like I don't know, if I do too many dabs, I literally become a bit of a zombie. So maybe I got to work on my tolerance a little bit. It's because I'm getting great stuff from my friend Mike. So
Yeah, no, listen, there is times where I go, I've done too much, right? There is
yeah,
there is some levels to this stuff, and this live rosin stuff, man, is the way to go for sure.
yeah, definitely a step up from drying it first. You find?
Oh yeah, I used to do that like in the pizza box, you know what I mean? And then it'd come out and and again, like this, I don't know anybody has ever had live rosin. You smell the plant and you're growing it, the way it smells, like you do a little bit of a, you know, a little rub on the stem, or you're ripping off some leaves, you smell that smell. That's exactly what this smells like. There's no
Mhm.
loss, right? With the fresh frozen and then the freeze drying. I found that when I dried it on like the cardboard and it got super dark and it got degraded and it wasn't as good. Now it was good. I mean, it's still better than flour in my opinion, but it's just like leaps and bounds higher. It's like, oh, okay.
And then have you ever done that for a second? Have you ever, like, you don't track it to the point where you'd know like how much you're losing by doing it fresh frozen? Because I'd imagine you're not getting quite as much through the screens. Now maybe you're just getting less plant matter in general, so it helps with the flavor, right?
Yeah, no, I've like the only times I've ever done dry stuff, I've done it in the past, and that's what got me away from it. Because it was like I dried it, I put it in there, I had to rehydrate it, I did all that stuff, and I felt like there was not as much of a return. Now, again, genetic specific and washers and not washers, it's hard for me. Like I would need to take my whole harvest and dry it instead of fresh. But what's the point? There's no
Yeah.
point.
Fair enough. Well, I got a little update for us on my SOG, and then I'm gonna want to see yours as well. So let's go to my little update video, and then you can prep to do your live update video because I think unless you did a video before, but
No. I'll get the
no.
camera back there after yours.
Yeah, Mike's too good live. Why pre-record when you're as good as Mike is live? So, all right, let's check out how my plants are doing. Don't judge me. They're not going to look quite as good as Mike's, but you'll see in a second.
That's why
So,
you're going first.
All right, guys, we are back in Curt's flower room, and we're at, I think it's about day 16 of flower for me. I know Mike's a little bit ahead of that, but he didn't have the same problems I had with his clones originally, and that's okay. I'm going to catch up because these ladies are looking absolutely fantastic now. As you can see, various heights on them. They're all looking a heck of a lot better. They're not stretching quite as much as I thought they would. There's probably 4 to 7 or 8 inches to go before that trellis net is actually effective. So with only about 5 days left in the stretch phase, I'm not confident that it's even going to make it to that level, which is completely fine. I'm going to be transparent here and let you know that I am not enjoying this grow half as much as I've enjoyed growing in my 3 gallon bud pots and doing the additional training and stuff like that. And again, I'm a hobbyist grower here, so having the fastest turnaround and maximizing yield per year isn't really a goal of mine. It's more enjoying the grow itself. So as much as they're looking good and I'm keeping them alive and I'm sure the harvest and yield's going to be great, I think early on here in flower, I'm realizing that I'd much prefer to have either 4 or even go down to 1 plant and train it out and make it really big. But you guys tell me what you think. It's definitely been an interesting experiment. You can check out this plant in the front right corner here, which only had 1 shoot, is doing its best to keep up with the rest, surprisingly doing very well. So a cool experiment nonetheless. Would I do it again? Maybe. I think I'd have to probably get a better irrigation system going because right now I have the drippers with some Amazon pumps, which do really work well with a smaller number of plants. But I've had to create this system that doesn't work as great. I think I would probably benefit from a more advanced watering system to keep these puppies fed properly. So anyways, we'll ride it out. I'm not going to be giving up anytime soon. As I said, they are still looking good, and got about 6 weeks left in the flower stage. So looking forward to the end results, and we'll see how Mike's doing with his plants.
All right, Mike, what do you think of that?
I was like, oh man, I hope he shows that plant in the front. I was halfway through. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there it is. Nice. Yeah, no, it took off, right? Like it
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking in the chat here about the wood frame. So I would assume that's way cheaper than PVC because PVC is expensive as crap. But
honestly, I only did it because I couldn't find the corner pieces that Scrogger used when I went to buy them. So 100% I would have gone with PVC because I think it's also easier to customize the height, right? Because I'm locked in with that now. I think I saw somebody say you can just lower the trellis net, but
really.
I just don't have the ability to do that because it's all screwed in, right? So I was thinking of ways where I could maybe like cut them and then put some sort of like metal piece in with some tightening, fastening equipment there so it could go up and down. Maybe I'll work on that. But definitely not going to work out too well. They look great. I'm just like the watering is difficult because so I have those 2 dripper pumps from Amazon. I had to split one into 10 different hoses essentially, and some of them are getting 2, some of them are only getting 1, which is fine because some are drinking more than others, some are bigger, and we're in better shape after the transplant. But it's just like, you know, it's been hard to manage, but I'm excited to see yours.
Those pumps are great for small amounts, right? But once you start getting a lot like that, you get a little bit of drift over here and a little bit of drift over there, and then you're not really seeing even watering. Like it, you 2 or 3 maybe even. You know what I mean? I have that one in my I have that same pump. My wife was using it for her plant when we did the GGC, and then now I have it in for my my mother's, and it just sits on a 5-gallon pail and waters the mother's weekly, and it's like great. Like I said, I don't even have to go in there. I gotta go in there to cut them down, but that's about it. But let me switch the cameras and the mic.
Cool. So why don't I go to our little tea break session and you can switch all that over.
Or if you can hear me.
All right. I can hear you, but we'll go. We'll be right back, people. Alrighty, and we are back. Look at that.
Yeah, so I'm getting a bit of salt sort of buildup, it looks like. White granular on top, which I never seen before. But I'm not really worried. The last time I had a bit of algae growing, but this time I don't. And I can definitely tell you that these now are in there pretty good. I tried to pull one out the other day to see if it was stuck in there, and it's definitely starting to get compacted, right? So I haven't waited or done the runoff in a while because everything seems to be running pretty good.
Damn, man. Holy jumping.
Yes, sir.
And listen, I don't feel too bad. You have more than I had. You have what, 20 in there?
24 total.
24? Okay. Yep. There you go, people. Yep. I'm running 16. He's running 24. Yeah, and what are you at now for time in flower?
So 21 days? Was this week. So I think I'm like 23 or 24 today. Maybe 25, but less than 4 weeks.
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, man, that looks so good. And I think for the GGC, there was so much time for veg, and I think that messed quite a few people up. Because I don't think you needed to like max that out, right? Because it's just hard.
2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
2 days.
Yeah.
And listen,
That's
I
wild, man.
didn't do any topping. I didn't do anything like that. I mean, so I get
Mhm.
that I'm getting a main cola, but that's what I was looking for, right? I think I'm going to put on. So this trellis net was at day 2 veg. Every plant except for
Yeah.
the back far one was below
Mhm.
that net. I put this one on. I don't even know when, but now we're at day 20, and we're like, I mean, that's at least
Yeah.
16 inches above that. So it's stretched the main top about 16 inches.
You got the
And
stretch that I was expecting, and that's why I built my frame that high. But man, that looks good. So you like this better than, fewer plants? You think you'll keep doing CA greens compared to, fewer plants and doing more training?
I mean, we still have another month, so I hope I don't run into any issues. But man,
Mhm.
as of this past week, okay, I've got, here's my RO water. I just did a res today. So I make a reservoir for the week. That's lasting me pretty good. This was lasting me one day before, 25 gallons with the 3-gallon pots to get 20% runoff a few times a day. I was going through that
Mhm.
tank every day. Now I'm going through this tank every about 4, 5, 6 days. So that's way better. I just upped the watering too. I'm at 4 times a day now instead of 3 because I was like,
Okay.
why not?
Mhm.
But yeah, man, it's I'm definitely so like let's look back at those big plants I had last run. There was a lot of work at defoliation day because there was so much plants. The freaking plants were past the light almost on the roof. You know what I mean? So a lot more
Yeah.
defoliation, a lot more work there. And if we went to the scrog when I did the 1 plant in the 5-gallon pot in the same spot, there was so much more work stretching, tucking, moving, manipulating. The first work I've done other than reservoir work has been the defol at day 22. So guess what? Way less work. So I'm saving my back. Now, it'll all depend on what, harvest looks like and how much, so every time I've run this tent with either the
Mm.
scrog or the 12 plants in those 3 gallons, it was
Mhm.
about 11 pounds of wet flour ish.
Yeah.
11 and a half, 11.3. Now this cultivar is definitely different, so it's kind of like, ooh, but if I get anywhere close to 11, which by looking at it right here, I go, it's doable, man. I'm going to have, this is going to be an 8-inch long bud by the end of it on
Oh
every
yeah, man. It
times
has so much
24.
time to stack up still. Like that's crazy.
And it's look at how that's stacking already. This is a the Queen by Copycat Genetics, and man, it's the reason why I picked this one to do this because I knew it was going to be stocky and short and stacking. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm as long as it's not
You're
like
crushing it, bro.
4 pounds at the end of wet flour for me to wash, I'm
Mhm.
probably going to do it again. And I think next time I'm going to try some seeds because I want to do some seeds in this process. I see that the effing goat there or fucking goat, whatever his name is on Instagram. I don't know the GGC winner. He's doing some right now, and he did it right from flip. And I don't think I would do it right from flip 12-12 on seeds. I'd wait a couple days just to get a little bit extra growth. But I think it's easily doable, man. Like if you got a watering system and I got to drain to waste, right? So it waters and then it runs out here to this drain and then goes back out and runs into my sump pump and then pumps out onto my grass, right? So I'm doing zero work other than mixing the nutrients in my reservoir every week. It's like on cruise control, man.
It's awesome, man. I mean, it's very cool to see how plants can still thrive like that in just a 16-ounce cup. Like you really, essentially it's a hydroponics grow at this point, probably with how many times you're watering it. And you're in
Mm-hmm.
cocoa too, right?
Yep, straight cocoa, no
Yeah.
perlite, no nothing. So now there is one thing I've noticed, and so as you can see, it's a little bit thin here, right? And I'm in
Mm-hmm.
a 5x5, and I have this extra space for equipment here, and that's a 4x4 tray that I'm using. So effectively, this is an Evo 10. It's got the 10 bars. This is overkill for a 4x4 space, but in the 5x5 space, even if it's outside, it seems to grow really good. That's why I love this Evo 10 by AC Infinity. It's pretty dope. It's got the two drivers, so it throws down a lot of ppfd. I would like to be able to move some of these plants and maybe bring them over it's decently spaced, but there is a little bit of like, you can see there's a little bit of overlap there that if I were to move these two plants over, I could, maybe avoid that and get a little bit better light coverage. So your little setup that you have with those like bases,
Yeah.
I think would be better in the first 2 to 3 weeks, and it would keep them. And then maybe because I'm going to put another trellis net up here, man. When this thing gets fully weighted, it's going to want to and move, right?
Yeah,
So
with a setup like this, the trellis isn't necessarily for training, right? It's just bud support at that point.
yeah,
So you really don't need it until after the stretch phase is over. Are you gonna run your under canopy lights again with this or no?
I'm torn. So I was going to, and I'm like, well, where do I do it? Do I do it on this bottom rung here and kind of find a spot? Like I could find a spot there, and it's just and again, I did it at 30% last time, and it didn't get hot and whatever. But or do I do it here and go down? I'm like
Yeah,
I'm
you
torn.
just
I
got
haven't
that
decided
big
yet.
stretch, right? So I guess it doesn't necessarily matter if your lowers are a bit larfy when you're gonna just strip the branches anyways. It's gonna be interesting when you go to strip it and do the fresh frozen, because you don't really need to chop up the plants at all. It's just one large stalk essentially.
Let's look at this bud, right? This is, there's some lower ones down here, and I probably should have cleaned that up, so I'm not even worried about those. But this is what, the fourth one down on a secondary branch, and look, man, it's for size. There's my thumb, and if I go up here, look at it's pretty. I like to keep mine like I when I look at your plants, I go, oh my God, there's so many big leaves. It gives me anxiety. I'm always wanting to clean it up, and I know you're going to do that probably next week, right? But
yeah, 100%.
I like to even get rid of some of them that are covering these tops and these smaller ones. Like there was a few there. I was like, I'd be cutting that one, I'd be cutting that one, and it's like my pet peeve, right? Like I'm always in here taking a little bit of leaf off and taking a little bit of leaf off. So I'm happy with the penetration, and plus this thing is putting out. I think I'm at 1,100 here, ish. And then all the other stuff is like 900 to 1,000, close to it. So it's. I didn't measure down at the bottom, but I am super stoked on how it looks, man.
Yeah, no, you're doing really well, and I totally would have probably taken off a few more fan leaves, but mine were in such bad shape, and they're not stretching quite as much, so I didn't want to stunt them at all during the flower stage. But I will definitely be doing a pretty nice defull at day 21, which is probably mid next week. So, yeah, man, this is going really well. Again, like it's amazing the different styles available. It's not like there's one right answer. You're really enjoying this. You said it's easier on your back, whereas I totally kind of miss doing more of the training. And then just my watering system's probably better set up for a fewer number of plants in a bigger pot as well. So very cool, guys. Chat, what do you think of Mike's talents here? I'd say it's pretty cool.
I want to just point out something here, and this is kind of this is the shittiest plant, right? I've had some water issues with this drain. I don't think it's getting enough water. I'm not hand watering it. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not going to mess with it. So it's the runt. But if you overlook the canopy and you look at kind of trying to get canopy level here, maybe you can't really tell. But from this, all these plants are sort of taller and healthier than the back plants, and there's only so many bud cups that I had. Those back plants, as you can see, the red solo cups back there, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but when I look at it, I go, man, the front half of the tent looks way better than the back half of the tent.
Well, that's good. This would have been ugly if they were looking way better, but
yeah, no. So
I'll bet you
stamp of approval there.
I'll bet you Solo didn't send you the free red Solo cups.
No, but you know what I mean. It is definitely like, so I have, I think, about 6 of them, and like I said, man, it's noticeable. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I think the riser makes a big difference too. Like you can obviously buy like a mini riser for your Solo cups, but I mean, this is also a pretty unique grow. I don't think a lot of people have done a sea of green with a 16-ounce cup. So you're exploring the unknown right now, Mike, and you're doing very well at it, my friend.
I love it. I'm going to switch cameras here. I'll be back on the
Sounds good. We didn't do a giveaway last time. I did see in the comments before the show started that somebody was excited to try and win some Bud Cups. So why don't we do that and get January off to a decent? I guess we're halfway through. So, anyways, let's keep January momentum going with a little Bud Cups giveaway, guys. So excuse me. If you're on YouTube, on Facebook, or on X, you can type in hashtag Bud Cups. If you're on Instagram, we'll give you a few minutes to jump over to either YouTube or Facebook at the Budtrainer page here so that you can get into the draw. And we'll give away a 4-pack of either yellow or black Bud Cups, guys. Again, these are made from partially made from recycled plastic. They have the built-in drainage, easy transplant mechanism. If you're not doing a sea of green like Mike and I are, that feature will come in handy. Obviously, wasn't used in this little experiment, but again, they're built to last forever. If you take care of them, you can probably pass them on to your kids when you teach them how to grow too. Mike, anything that I missed about the Bud Cups that you like?
Right, I can't wait to fucking wash them out, throw them in the dishwasher, and just fucking give them a rinse. You know what I mean? In between. I would assume that it would be like a top rack kind of thing. You don't want it close to the heat elements at the bottom.
We've only had one person reach out to us. We do have a 1-year manufacturing defects warranty on that, but yeah, I try to keep it on the top rack there because if it gets super hot, it doesn't matter what kind of plastic it is, it's gonna just warp. It didn't necessarily break them or completely melt them, but it just loses its shape a little bit. But they are as long as it's reasonable temperatures, dishwasher friendly. I personally think it's just as easy to hand wash them really quick too, and then you can sanitize with some alcohol or some peroxide as well. So looks like we got 33 entries. We got 50 people roughly between all of the channels here. Mike, thanks very much for streaming to your channel as well.
Do you think it'll pick up those the people that are doing it on my channel?
I would hope so because it's seeing.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do it on my channel, and if I win, we'll just re-roll it. But if we see
it went from 33 to 34 right when I saw your comment come in, so I think we're good.
Nice.
U.S. or Canada only. I'll give you a gift card if you're outside North America. ADZ. I'll give you a $20 gift card if you're outside of North America and win the draw. All right, can we get to 40, guys? Can we get to 40? We need 2 more. I'll give it 20 more seconds, roughly. And then, yeah, guys, at the end of the month, the last Friday of each month, we're going to be doing a big Growing Buds. We're going to get people back on to show off their grows. H will be here. We'll do a giveaway. We're trying to get some cool guests who are involved more on the scientific side of growing. Maybe some friends from Niagara College, if they're down to do it with us, so that we can help people who aren't necessarily beginners. I think a lot of our focus with Growing Buds has been around beginners, but I think it's going to be nice to get into some more advanced topics and get some questions from you guys. And we got to 40, so let's run this right now. Good luck, everybody, in the draw. Again, last Friday of each month, we'll do a big Growing Buds episode with H, with all the friends. Midwest Outlaw 31, congratulations. You have won a 4-pack of Bud Cups. Just email us at hello@budtrainer.com. Give me a screenshot showing you're the owner of the account, and we will send you that pack of Bud Cups. I'm just going to put it in the chat here so that you know what to do with it. If you have any trouble, just let us know and we'll figure it out for you guys. But yeah, Mike, anything else you want to say? Anything exciting other than the Leafs having a big overtime win last night to break their 3-game slide?
I seen Doug K in the old chat room there. What do you think about the Leafs, eh, buddy? Yeah, man. Listen,
is Doug a fan or no?
Not of the Leafs.
What's his team?
Listen, he's Ottawa for sure, but he was a Jason Spezza huge fan.
Well, Spezzo's also a Leaf, so
Doug owns a Jason Spezza Leaf jersey,
Doug
and
says Leafs suck.
I almost defriended him on all platforms when he bought the Spezza Toronto jersey. It's like, I get that you're a Spezza, like one of his like emails, a Spezza fan 54329 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But no, listen, Ottawa might make the playoffs.
We'll see. I'm rooting for Canadian teams, man. We need to bring the cup back home.
Ottawa, Toronto, dude, bring back the good old days when the Ottawa, Toronto
final. But yeah, it would be cool to see an Edmonton, Toronto final, or I guess an Ottawa, Toronto final. But I think Toronto's due. Toronto's due.
Why would it be a final? No, Ottawa's in the same fucking thing. They would be first round or whatever, right? If Ottawa is, where's Toronto at in the standings? They number one? No.
Toronto should finish number one in their Atlantic division, but I think it's possible for them to meet in the conference final, isn't it? Because
Ottawa and Toronto always played in first round, always.
Back but they would have to be the 4 seed, like the first wild card team. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Still lots of season to go. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. Mike, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it, brother. Everybody have a great weekend. Barb, good to see you. Good to see the Bills finishing strong. I'm going to be cheering for the Bills in the Super Bowl pursuit. When is that? Does it start this weekend?
It started. What, the playoffs started last weekend, didn't they? I thought that
was the wild card. The Bills wouldn't have played.
Oh,
then.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a cannabis show, so let's end it there with the sports talk, and we'll see you guys back in a couple weeks, and see you later.